What's up, everyone? It's Lumin here with an Agricola game for you today. It's EIK WM France G4 G5, which is the set I've really been most enjoying in the last month or two, if you couldn't tell by the games I've been setting up. I'm playing with Average Joe 40, Malingo, and Coyote K4 today. My first pack, quite interesting. We've got animals, an engineering apprentice, and vegetables. So I think it's just Engineering Apprentice. And then both Workaholic and Dove Hunter are good on the wheel. Hobby Farmer is very solid. Generally, I want to be playing at least 4 other Ox besides Engineering Apprentice. Veggie Importer and Joiner are both okay too if I find something that complements vegetables or food actions. So really a lot of ways to go with this pack. And really, if I don't find anything and end up with Dove Hunter or Worka, that's totally fine. I think Workaholic with Livestock Expert is actually a really nice combo. So you don't have to wait for your things to breed to get the rest of the stuff. But yeah, there's lots of options here. And Engineering Apprentice is both the strongest and keeps me flexible. This is very strong. This is very strong stuff. So... Huh. More stables, more veggies. Everyone's gonna have veggies. Everyone's gonna have veggies. Wolf is just really good for whoever has Workaholic, but also works pretty well with Engineering Apprentice. Hey, Albuquerque, how are you doing today? So, let's see. Cool. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Woke up not too long ago. Probably snoozed my alarm like 8 times this morning, but you know, whatever ends up working is good, right? Got my caffeine next to me. It's gonna be a good morning. Um, this pick though. This is you're a new follower to the stream, right? So you probably want to be clicking on cards if you haven't been around the Agricola streams yet. We do play with quite a few fan-made cards, but the quality of them is very high. They've been refined over years, so they're better than what Uwe Rosenberg can pump out on his own most of the time. So really, I don't know if I'm picking Wolf or Noble. Noble can just win games. So I'm going to pick it, even though giving Wolf to like Workaholic and all that stuff is really strong. Dairy Crier is a very interesting thing to see here. I think I really want to be playing a couple Ox very early to make sure I can get my Engineering Apprentice down. I think Stone Sculptor is not great because I'm going to want to get to Stone by the end game for sure. One sec. Yeah, bad news in the sports world. Okay. So, Dung Collector and Stone Sculptor are both quite useful. Hey, Thytrius. Yeah, thank you. I'm passing lots of good cards, so I'm scared. It means I've been getting a lot of good cards, but it's still scary. I'm gonna need a lot of stone to make Stone Sculptor work. And Dung Collector doesn't need much work to really get flying. Visionary is just funny here. We've got a lot of animals in this game already. Resource Dealer can use stone for stuff, but I actually did pass the Stone Sculptor. Visionary is just extra this game. Veg, boars, and stone. There's gonna be plenty of those things in this game regardless. So I think I just take Resource Dealer. Miller is an interesting thought, as is Peasant. But with Dung Collector in hand, I should be fine. Alright, so the veggie stuff got taken. Am I the workaholic now? I guess I am. With Dairy Crier around, I kind of want to take Dove Hunter because if someone feeds me 2 sheep while I have 2 stables up, then I can just start breeding them and then play Dove Hunter. And that's really efficient. On the other hand, just taking Workaholic is pretty good. Weirdly, someone took Livestock Expert before Workaholic. So not really sure how that happened, but maybe they had plans already. Here, I think Kelp Gatherer is pretty reasonable. Building resources into food. Were there any ox that do it? The main point of Ware's Salesman is that you buy the Basket Maker's Workshop, you get the 2 reed back, and then when the pottery and the joinery are built, you get wood reed and clay reed. Which is like a nice little helping card. I wouldn't describe it as more than that, but for now I'll just take Kelp Gatherer. There's probably enough food in this game to where the fishing won't matter to most players, but I'm taking it anyway. And, I don't know, Archer. Basin Maker, I'm not really going to have the wood for that, I don't think. Manure and Dunghill, that's fun. So Donkey's the best card here. And if I don't want to run Dung Collector, then Donkey will do the job very well. Funny enough, Donkey and Dung Collector both need like spaces for animals before they work. How am I gonna do this? Yo, Donba. Glad to have you back on the stream here. How was or is your vacation going? The other thing I'm thinking of taking is just take Barbershop. Plan for Noble? Oh, I'm going to use it as Chamberlain. Computer for life, that's the way. I feel it. I'm very tempted to take, like, Carpet or Barbershop instead of Donkey. Donkey's really good. Donkey's really, really good. But I do want to play all my ox because of Dung Collector. Or because of Engineering Apprentice. On the other hand, it gives me a reason not to play Archer, so I'll just take Donkey. It's really, really strong. I really think twice before passing that kind of stuff. So Barn is way the best card here. And I need it 0%. Yeah, Donkey's just great. I mean, I have animals set up. I'm going to have Easy Plowso. Yo-Yo Fofo. Welcome, welcome. So, Goldmine also affects the game in a big way. I don't really care if someone plays Goldmine. I think I prefer it slightly just because I do want to get a noble out. It does mean I can take stone stuff more aggressively. If I play Barn, then I can definitely get one stable out of it and prevent anyone else from getting stuff out of it. On the other hand, I could just take Goldmine. Goldmine is a very game warping card. I think if it was like pay a food to receive 2 building resources of their choice, it would be like way better. Because you don't want to make Goldmine strictly better than Reedstone food, which is the biggest problem with it, in my opinion. Do I plan to stream 7 Wonders this week? Well, it did get a good audience, so I might. I very well might. And I've been avoiding playing 7 Wonders offline, or off stream, because I felt like when I was focusing on it pretty hard in the stream, I was playing better. 7 wood, not quite. So regrettably, I'll take the Goldmine. Farmer's Market, more veg in this game. Stone House Extension, huh? Maybe safer to just take clogs for now. Public Forest is a thought, but I think I'm okay. As long as I get a hearth, I should be totally fine here. Funny. Private Forest right after. Clear cutting's pretty nice. Salary is funny. It does nothing with Goldmine. Well, it could let you turn like a clay into a 3rd stone, I guess. Consolation Prize is really bad. Private Forest, I don't think I need extra wood. My wood supply is pretty decent. Well, the thing with Stone House Extension is that it requires me to have 6 stone to grow for that room, and Noble has my growth without room already covered. So if Stone House Extension wheels, then I can think about a fast reno strategy. But if it doesn't wheel, then, you know, I'd do the normal Noble game and I'm fine. So I actually think Stone House Extension is a bit of a non-bow there. Hammock is useless to me. Crib is maybe okay as 2 wood for 6 food. I would never play Crib and pay 2 wood and 6 food for 3 points. I think I just take Dunghill. It might be a point or 2. I would do Crib like that if I had 12 food easy. I don't know when. At what point in the game am I going to be overfed by that much? And if I'm overfed by that much, then I can just use that tempo to finish out my farm. Right. I'm not saying this game either. I'm saying like any game. What kind of setup are you going to have where you're going to grow 3 times and be overloaded on food? It's really rare. It's really, really rare. So I think Crib is not a very useful card. You're turning 2 wood to 6 food, and that's the only conversion I think is reasonable. Here, there is not much going on. I think the chance of someone else taking worm bait is good enough, given that I have kelp gatherer. Um, Wild game's not especially exciting. Neither is wood fired oven, but wood fired oven is potentially better. Passing wild game to the wolf is not very fun. So yeah, Stonehouse extension. Now we can take it. And depending on how early I grow and reno, I can consider dropping gold mine to get the extra stone for it. But honestly, I might rather build the well and still use Noble, as Chamberlain. Wild game does seem okay, I agree. I feel like it's more likely that I can play wood-fired oven as a 2-point action than playing wild game to save myself mid-game. We'll see how that goes. You never get dung collector to work? Just prioritize it. Fence it up early. I think, Donba, one of your potential holes in your game might be that you save fences until too late. Alright, so we get start player here. Sobeyk's round 1. I want to play a ton of Ox early, so let's get it started. Oh, yeah. I feel like sometimes you should fence earlier than you do. Fencing early provides a lot of benefits, even if it's like 9 or 11 fences. Just being able to hold animals, breed them early. Very different game style, but it would make Dung Collector pretty easy to hit for 3 or 4 fields. An average Joe plays Field Watchman. So what did I pass to Field Watchman? Reedstone and 3 wood go, as predictable. Just 2 wood here for me. Turambar yells at you when you fence early and calls you an animal clown. Well, as long as you're fencing early after you're building a room, I think being an animal clown is just his way of being jealous. So Noble is Chamberlain basically means... Chamberlain is a banned card because it lets the player grow and plow sow in the late rounds for free, basically. So it's basically that Noble also lets you grow and plow sow in the late rounds for free. Average Joe, grain plows, Malingo to clay. Coyote is going to plow or start player here. Or day labor. Pretty average round 1. I'm already worried that Kelp Gatherer is going to be a bit of a bust. Coyote plows, so I keep start. I can think about Reedstone food here, both to get myself one food closer to feeding, given that I'm playing Ox. And I think a good likelihood I get an Ock out here. Field Watchman would really rather take 3 wood 2 reed than play another Ock, I think, unless I passed something really dumb. I did pass Wolf and Wild Breeding, but I think it's probably too early to play those efficiently if it's Average Joe. So I'm going to take the Reedstone food here. In part because the Resource Dealer, if I play it early enough, I'll be able to take the wood reed off of it for my room. Well, actually, that would require me buying a clay thing, wouldn't it? Maybe I should have just played Engineering Apprentice. But Average Joe does take 3 wood. I don't think I passed Straw Thatched Roof. I didn't pass Clear Cutting. I mean, this is a really good Field Watchman card. Malingo plays Casino Manager. One of those games. Well, the good news is that I have a good way to get 4 stables. Just play all my Ox. I should probably play Workaholic. I mean, yeah, I had to pass Wolf to take Noble, so... I mean, there's no really good answer at that point. Alright, so this should work fine. My farm layout is not really restricted right now, so I guess I'll put the stables next to my house. Next round, I should really prioritize 3 food traveling. Yeah, it was really tough. I mean, I think Wolf was the better pick for synchronization, but passing Noble is just something I was really uncomfortable with. So I did play this correctly, obviously getting slightly lucky to get the second Ox space back, but 5th action round 2, that's a relatively safe thing to gamble on compared to 3 wood 2 reed and Reedstone food, given that there's 2 of them. Yes, I just want to be avoiding a stable in the donkey pen. I could also just not play donkey, because if I can get Dung Collector running early enough, we did have sheep round 2. If I can play Workaholic soon before the sheep get threatened, then everything's going to be great. So Malingo took start player this round with Public Forest, which makes a lot of sense with the 4 wood from Casino Manager. Average Joe obviously did a Field Watchman again, and Coyote will either plow or take 2 wood and be fine with it. 2 early plows could signal Evening Prayer, but not necessarily. There was a fairly good set of miners this game. Sadly, it's Major Minor in round 3 here. I would have really liked to see Fences, just because it gives me 1 more round to take the sheep. But it's unlikely I get free Ock here anyway, or cheap Ock. And Malingo actually plays Master Stableman, so those sheep are not mine, and I need to first action this 3 food traveling players to make sure I can trigger Kelp. Oh, and when Coyote plays Magician, there's no chance. There is no chance. So I have to very sadly ignore the Reedstone food and such. Then on the wheel, 3 wood's not bad. Average Joe has a 4-wood move here. Reedstone food, definitely very reasonable. Nothing wrong with that. 4 clay is going to be big for me because it would let me get the hearth done. What I am happy about is that resource dealer is a lot less, or workaholic is a lot less crucial to play immediately. And Malingo takes the 2 sheep here. I think that's a little early, honestly. So plus food for Coyote and a veg for me. That's always fun. 4 wood. Nobody took 4 wood. I have a big problem saying no to 4 wood. It might not actually be a problem, but I really hate saying no to 4 wood. Oh, I passed a barn to field watchman? Gosh. If I'm Average Joe, I just grain plow and aim for clay and sow next round. My next 2 moves are for Reed and Clay or Ock. Reed, Clay, Ock. 2 of the 3 are gonna be my ideal round. It's gonna be hard to not get that. This is a pretty critical move for Average Joe here. Going last is not great. So you kind of want to wood police. You kind of want to take your clay. You kind of want to keep field watching. The fact that the food actions and the 2 sheep especially, like the 3 food, 2 sheep getting taken has really done strange things to this board. So Average Joe does have a big decision here. Policing the wood is always important. Getting your field watchman done is always very important. Taking clay is also very important. So we'll see what the decision is. It is start player barn going into 6 wood. I think that's very reasonable. Malingo gets a 4th food from the public forest. And I'm kind of curious if the decision is 6 clay or 4 wood or reedstone food. Probably 4 wood. If so, Coyote, I don't know if he'll take 2 wood or not. I should take reedstone if it's available. Average Joe getting reedstone food is really not the business. First room with a field watchman, that's no. That's a no-no. Malingo does take the 4 wood. Coyote gets the veg importer down. Makes sense. Average Joe taking the hobby farmer out of one of those strong packs as the veg source makes a ton of sense. Like hobby farmer, field watchman, the timing syncs up extremely nicely. If I take reedstone food here, Joe will probably sow, but might take 2 reed. Malingo could take 2 reed, could take 6 clay. Coyote could also take the clay. I think I've done a fairly good job getting stuff done here. I can always use that first resource dealer clay to reno, and then the wood for an improvement, and then the reed stone for the reno to stone. So Malingo takes the 6 clay. Definitely the best action on the board. I don't know about positionally, but definitely the raw best action. Hi, Rilo. Lots of good ox floating around, lots of veggies, lots of animals. Coyote takes 2 wood. So now I can build or start. Expensive ox is probably not the play. I mean, I'm building or starting or taking 4 clay, and my miners don't say to play them immediately, so I guess I just build in round 4 begrudgingly. It's not my favorite thing to do. But maybe Chris will reward us. Ah, come on. Can we get some Chris in this chat for this family growth gift? Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. I feel very good about my position now. I'll play clear cutting on the growth over dunghill. And clogs. Coyote builds a room, which he didn't need to do. So my next move will be Ock Resource Dealer, most likely. Average Joe can take 3 read here and be incredibly happy. I mean, I think 3 read is a slam dunk for Field Watchman in early growth. Takes Reedstone food. I mean, it's not wrong. Malingo's going to take it if you don't, and it's kind of questionable if Malingo's going to take the 3 read. So I don't think it's a bad play, necessarily. Oh, Malingo plays Reed Exchange. Interesting. So we'll see if Coyote takes the 3 read or does Magician stuff. Magician stuff is probably more likely. Do I want the 3 read? Probably. I might play 4-room Noble, given that growth is early. Or you know what I should really do? I should play Resource Dealer here. Or Workaholic. 3 sheep. Could be mine. 1 too many Chris's? I put 11 in there. Why is that 1 too many? Tell me. Alright, I'm playing Workaholic here. That's not stone. your card. Did you design it, Malingo? Alright, so Malingo builds a room, forcing Coyote to grow. Nobody has a cookery yet. Good morning, Marushka. Is your game still going? I saw you and William were both streaming that game. I saw you played a very nasty Birthwell. Hope that finished off nicely. Coyote plays corn on the cob. That's a nice little tactical move there. Alright, so 3 moves. The sheep aren't threatened yet. Oh no. Kimball destroyed? Sounds kind of like Kimball. Taking the 4 read prevents people from getting too room happy. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, when that's your only problem, it's a big problem, huh? I am playing it a little close here myself. Lots of good actions here, but I think my preferred actions are 4 clay, 3 sheep. Next round, play Resource Dealer, Reno Fireplace. I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Yeah. Oh my. Average Joe is maybe renoing here? With the clay oven? I would not have guessed that it's Reno with the clay oven. What is this? Visionary never came out. What are we planning for August in the States? I mean, probably staying home. Same thing for September, October if this continues. Baseball looks like it's over. So baseball is a microcosm of this country right now. That's my take. Joe switches from Reno to just building a clay oven, which makes, I think, more sense. There was a lot of good stuff for Field Watchman this draft. There was a bread paddle. I mean, honestly, bread paddle is great for Field Watchman. Oh, Malingo starts with extra effort. Malingo likes to be tricky with these drafted cards. I didn't see extra effort, I don't think, and I'm pretty sure I didn't see Read Exchange, but Read Exchange is one of those things I just like toss to the back of my mind and maybe forget. Oh yeah, you're teaching online this fall? Yeah, I would hope so. I'm a little sad to see the hearth go, but I didn't have the clay for it either way. Coyote gets 4 wood here after growing. Oh, and declines it to take reedstone food. Okay. I need this clay. It's still the perfect number for me. And I take sheep with my last action. I do give Joe 4 wood here, average Joe 4 wood. Malingo's almost certainly getting 6. I can't really prevent that. The only way I prevent that is if I give the 4 sheep away, but that's not happening. I do have plenty of food outs, which is very necessary given what I've done here. The reedstone food from Coyote is a little surprising. I think 4 wood might have been the more flexible play. Alright, so Malingo will lead with 6 wood here. Fishing is pretty safe, isn't it? So I want to first move Ak, the resource dealer. Either fireplace or Reno fireplace. And I should be okay. I should be okay here. Basket Maker's Workshop is a backup plan. 4 food fishing is a backup plan, but as long as I get a fireplace. And I have kind of prevented anyone from building a 4th room very efficiently. It'll be costly for Malingo to throw away this 6 wood action in favor of a room. I mean, I shouldn't say throw away, but utilize. Computer science. Marushka, you're a software programmer, right? You know what that means. Or maybe you just use a different term for it in Czech. I guess I shouldn't be so quick to assume. Computer science and software engineering are pretty close, I think. So I'm pretty close to having the right amount of resources for renoing to stone already. Actually, I do think I do. If I use the reed stone, I do. So I can just spend the wood on clogs, perhaps. And no one can take reno aside from Average Joe, and it doesn't make a ton of sense to do that. Malingo is going to be growing and eating the sheep. Joe does build a room in case Malingo goes for a different line. Oh, okay. Well, good to know the difference, Kimball. It's funny because at my college, they kind of like cross-listed courses as both CSC and SWE, I think. So I guess that's where I got that idea from. Okay, okay. Malingo gets down a barber shop here. When you manage to grow on time and feed, that is nice. Yeah, you're not losing tempo. Coyote grabs the 3 wood here. I will grab my Reno fireplace now. 4 food fishing is really not a bad action for me, but I think I'd rather buy Basket Maker's Workshop and take Reedstone more. Is that reasonable? Late stone is a little interesting for this game. Joe fences 6. That's unexpected. Kind of like Coyote's position here, taking 2 wood and looking at building next round to grow in round 9. Coyote does Magician. So I'd really like to only kill one of these sheep. If I buy Basket Maker's Workshop, I can do that, but doing so sets me back a little bit on the Reno. Maybe not that much. I think it's generally a good game for Basket Maker's Workshop. The rooms aren't coming that aggressively. So everything goes away and I end up with a food and the same amount of sheep. So I do want to spend this wood before the before being able to use the reed and stone for Reno. We get boar round 8, which I think is good for me. I could play gold mine. Resource dealers only for rooms, improvements, or renovations. So getting clogs down is actually pretty important. Or I guess I could play dunghill if I'm feeling frisky. Malingo took the 2 sheep. I would kind of like to Reno with a hearth. If I take 2 stone and start, I can do that. But also I could do it with Reedstone food twice. And then have stuff to eat with Basket Maker's Workshop. I do need the wood, and wood is going down pretty fast. Even though I'm getting some back, I would like to have it now. Keeping pressure on wood is always important, and when Casino Manager is in the game, I really don't want to take too many floats. So Average Joe gets the barn stable. What am I going to use this clay on? I guess a major somewhere. Average Joe indeed does play bread paddle. Yeah, looks good. And by doing it first action, signaling that he wants to play an Ox second move, which is very likely, given that expensive Ox is expensive for everyone else. Okay, Coyote does take Reedstone. I think I start Clogs. That's fine. And then well, I guess Joe could take the 2 stone, but already signal Doc. 2 stone's just the right number for me, and then I can get my read action later if I need it. Let's see. I don't need the Noble in play super urgently, given the choice of how we're playing it. Though I guess potentially being able to use it extra times is fine. So very broadly, I'll want to take start player with my first action in round 12 to make sure I take the round 13 action in round 13, or to make sure I get both actions. I can defend the one of my choice. Dairy Crier. Okay. Passive food this harvest is very kind. And we see Coyote take 1 sheep, which is definitely an okay option compared to 2 food. But now my game is really running. As long as this 2 stone comes around. Which it might not. Stone's always good. When it's late, the 2 stone can be a fine action. Worst case scenario is 2 read for me, I think. I could just plow and take a wood. Even though, I mean, I have Dung Collector and Donkey in my pocket. Malingo takes the 4 clay. And Coyote builds a room. I think that's good. Maybe I would have built the well and then build room next round. Seems a bit safer, but I think either way is going to work out fine for him. So I'll take the... Oh, I'm going first. What did I take start for? To play Clogs. Would I rather have 2 read 3 stone or the other way around? I don't think... I'll take the read. And then this depletes stone from other people longer. Hearth is pretty clearly my improvement of choice on this renovation. Maybe I can... No, I'm 1 stone short of being able to buy Stone Oven. And 2 stone short of being able to buy Well. Someone has a stone kitchen this game. That might be what Coyote has. Yeah, I'm going to say Coyote has stone kitchen and is going to grow with it this round. Yeah, if I had any more capacity, I would take the boar in a heartbeat. It feels really bad to not. Alright, so Reno's still not threatened. I would guess Molingo takes the 2 boar here over something like Reedstone. But the wood is getting short yet again. Average Joe could just grain plow and sow. That's probably a fine set of actions. Oh, Malingo plays Stone Sculptor. So me taking that 3 stone is actually pretty big. Malingo's got some good ceiling there. Whereas I've gone for a higher floor game. Coyote plows another field. Getting them in there nicely. Alright, and now the veg is a lot better. Whoops, I did not pay my resources. Wood collector, oh yeah, wow. I did pass some good stuff. Wait, that means Average Joe didn't take wolf. And Molingo might not have taken boar because Molingo has wolf. I don't know where wolf ended up, but it looks like it's in seat 3 or 4, which is kind of crazy, but also given what else has been played, not that crazy. Like, the played cards kind of explain why wolf hasn't hit the table yet. Baking another grain. I think this is a little too much baking for Field Watchman at this point. You really want to have a bunch of grain in the fields still. Well, you know, I'm going to take the 2 boar if they're there. And it looks like that's going to be my best action. I can't dock. 2 wood is a bit weak. And I'm going to transition into boar while everyone else has sheep. That seems to make some sense. Now, the very interesting move would be to keep 1 sheep and not breed boar, which I honestly think is an option. But I'm just going to take the extra food. And then make these next 2 rounds really about wood and fencing. Joe gets a grain plow in, and Malingo could start or take 2 wood. Malingo's taken start a lot. It seems honestly okay, given that it's a lot of tactical tricks. It's like start player extra effort for the heart, start player read exchange to build in front, but this time Malingo is going for the clay. I am 1 clay away from buying pottery. Alright, and Coyote takes Magician. And plays a Drained Pond. I think that's the wrong round. So the 4 wood, very clear here. I could very well fence 7. Oh, and the cows popped up. I would really like to breed all 3 types. That would be amazing. But I guess getting 2 types is the biggest priority here. So I'm really just going to next action fence. And then see if I can get 3 sheep or 2 cows next round. I suppose I don't actually have to fence if no one else does. Take wood. One cow, huh? Okay. Very interesting, but I mean, it's kind of what you need, so why not? What did I pass that requires cows? I didn't pass Milking Stool or Milking Hand. It could be Milking Stool. Malingo's taking 2 reed, can reno and build, but not have time to grow. I think overall, given that I wanted a stone house strategy and family growth flipped 5, only one other person being at 4 rooms is a big plus for me. Wow, Coyote's plowing like mad. Nobody else took wood, so I will take wood here and fence 10. Does that make sense? Yes and no. So I'm getting 5 wood from Workaholic, right? And this is kind of like bad tempo given that I want to play Dung and Noble. But right now I can still play Noble round 12 and be okay. I am fed already, which is fantastic. And I am getting even more wood from clear cutting. So I fence this move. I take 3 sheep next round. If all goes well. Yeah, this is a bit risky. I probably should have just fenced and taken the sheep. Yeah, this doesn't feel great. I think I'm going to get away with it, but it doesn't feel great. Malingo is renoing with Sack Cart. In time to get 2 grain from it, not bad. Playing Sack Cart, trying to get all 4 grain is usually a mistake. If you can do it and have room parts, then that's amazing. Good for you. Yes, do that. Generally, you'll want to play Sack Cart before, right before round 8, like in round 6 or 7, and that's usually about the best time to play it because you've made sure you got your wood for your room. Then you can prioritize it. But I think getting it down in round 10 isn't bad either. Average Joe goes field watching. Man, that one cow move. I was not expecting it. Alright, I'm kind of curious about what Coyote does. I feel like it's going to be veg and sow, but the thing that would really go bad for me if it's start player stone kitchen. Take veg. Fence 3 spaces and have spot for donkey. I'm not really sure I'm playing donkey. In part because I have dung collector here. Read stone food. Can now reno with stone kitchen. That might be the plan for Coyote. Oh, he's getting 3 veg here. I'm not exactly threatening so, but Average Joe is. So it's possible that Coyote start players to sow. Yes, I think that is what's happening. That explains the plowing a lot of fields. I hope that's what's happening. And I haven't exactly revealed Dung Collector yet. And that is indeed what happens. So I do believe I have gotten a bit lucky here, doing this in the improper order. But I'm going to get 3 fields from Dung. I'll have Noble ready to go. Things are looking up. Not sure what that 3 stone on Workaholic is going to be for. The 4 clay is very likely pottery. There isn't a ton of extra clay in this game. Fencing 7 is a bit of a strange play with Casino Manager in the game. You really want to max that out. And I think capacity was already there for him. Malingo plays Livestock Expert the last possible round. 5 sheep in an action is good. It's basically a 9 food action. Nothing wrong with that. I could take the 2 boar and have a very easy path to 9 animals for Workaholic. But first priority is definitely Dung Collector. Coyote taking wood. That's basically the only part of his game that's missing. So my sheep are on pace to be the right parity in terms of ending with 6 is better than ending with 5 or 7. So I would rather just kill the boar and eat a reed, probably. It looks like play-by-play is showing Average Joe stalling about 2 boars, thinking about capacity issues, and that is indeed the move. That makes the fencing a lot better, actually. I mean, with that sequence in mind, that's a lot better than just fencing 13. It's quite a fine move. Malinga goes for plow. Makes sense. Alright, how am I going to continue to get points here? Do I just take Reedstone food? Do I take a grain? Grain is probably the better move, given that Plowso could just come out next round, and I don't want to like rush to take a grain. And Coyote takes Reedstone food anyway, so I don't have much of a choice. Malingo has a grain in supply right now. I don't need the workaholic stuff right now. If I start player, I guess it's Dunghill. Playing the dung game with my animals. Sorry. Average Joe goes on day labor instead of 3+1 food fishing. Malingo grows with manure. So I guess I have space to take cows. Coyote is renoing. And playing breakfast outdoors for a veg. I guess that turns a food into a point. Because the veggie is normally 4 in the stone kitchen, but it's getting 3 back during the game. It is Plowso. Alright, and I think I do need to take the cows. It does let me take everything on Workaholic. Just gonna take it. Family growth late does cause a bit of pressure. Oh, but Average Joe starts with carpet. Yeah, that is cool. Alright, so Noble needs to come out, and then I'll Plowsow. I will need to get growth in both 13 and 14. Stonehouse Extension is looking likely just to get the points. I guess I could just grow with Stonehouse Extension. That is a usable line. Archer's gonna give me my last stable. Hobby farmer for average Joe. Yep. Bakes a grain. I mean, I think I'd rather play the well. But I guess it is also close. Yeah, I think you got to choose the order there. So if I Plowsow here... I also want to clear that claystone off of dealer. I mean, I definitely think I have this one won, unless Coyote pulls out a bunch of bonus points from somewhere. Taking 3 stone definitely helps the idea of bonus points. I'm gonna Plowsow. Seven Wonders when. Y'all are hungry for it now, I guess. Wow, what do I have time to do? Maybe I do play Stonehouse Extension on start player so that I can grow with Dunghill, and then I also fence. Is Noble gonna be on fences? I do have to eat some animals now, but that's not going to be nearly as painful now that I've cleared off Workaholic. Yeah, you know, I think it is Stonehouse Extension. And Wood-Fired Oven has a place in this game, too, in round 14 to bake. Like, more than Goldmine or Donkey, Dunghill might not even be in the picture. Yeah, my game does look pretty solid now. I'm getting Casino Manager. Malingo and Coyote have grown out of their rooms. Average Joe goes for Plowsow, which I guess is necessary, and Carpet lets him grow without. without room. Okay. Dunghill still could be a couple points for me. Molingo takes the open growth space. Makes a lot of sense. Coyote pays a food for that field, and not really sure what the next move for him is. Oh, I didn't take the wood from clear cutting, you're right. Yeah, I should have access to fences either way here. This eats a reed, but it does so many other things that should be fine. Yeah, this room is 3 points, because I don't think I'm covering that space with fields. Average Joe plays Dove Hunter. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, I passed along some good options for everyone. Let's see, I need 8 food. So that's a boar and 2 sheep, I guess. We'll see if someone fishes. I mean, fishing with 5+1 has to be good for, like, Coyote. Taking wood, that's fine. I guess I fence here, because nobody can grow with room. We'll see if I actually need to play Archer next round. I could also just hard build a stable. But I am looking at the resources for wood-fired oven as being exact. I can also just build pottery for 3 points. Lots of options, lots of options. Grow with Dunghill, add 1 on both fields. That's good. And then grab Plowsow first action to deny that compared to growth without room. I think I'm fairly ahead of pretty much everyone by 5 to 10 points right now, if there aren't any surprises, so I should take the action here I think is best for the person I perceive after me, but I'm not honestly sure who that is. One of my actions is Plowsow. One of them is like I'm already struggling to figure out what it is. Wood-fired oven actually doesn't work very well. This is, I think, 2 points. One of my pet cards. Lots of stuff going on there, so that gets me 7 food by eating 2 sheep and 1 boar. They both breed back. That breeds. I pay this food, I get a wood and a field. I basically can take a grain veg because Dunghill lets me add during the harvest. So what else happened? Average Joe took family growth. Malingo took some stone. Coyote took more food. Excuse me. So I can take both of these. I'm not blocking Average Joe on grow. I don't really want to give Joe the plow, so... So I'm growing, I'm stabling, and I take food, I guess. Did I take that wood? I think I did. Wait. No. Didn't take the wood. Yeah, I'm really bad at using clear cutting, apparently. So let's see. So with Dunghill, I can add 2 veg for 6 food, or I can add 2 grain for a point. So if I add 2 veg for 6 food, I can eat the 2 veg and a pig and feed enough, which means I'd rather build a stable than anything else. Than play Archer to get the stable. I can also buy pottery. I should buy pottery. Should buy pottery. I will need an extra food to plow the field. So pottery, grow, and clay, or reed. Should be quite a fine endgame sequence. Yeah, especially if I can nab the 5 clay. Average Joe does have a food problem, I guess. Major's the clay roof. Good play. Good play. Do I actually need to protect the casino? Because Joe's going to be N-2 without a stable. Or without 2 fences, rather. Malingo fences 8. So Average Joe can still reno fence by taking reed, taking wood, and reno fencing, and that would not be good for me. Coyote takes ren fence. So I guess I don't need to defend that anymore. On the other hand, the majors are not available. So what am I doing here? Wood-fired oven is 2 points. The 4 reed is a point and 3 food. This is 6 food, or a point and 2 food. It doesn't deny anyone, really. This is 8 food or a point. Oh yeah, Noble Major is still an option. That is better, but to be fair to everyone, I didn't see that one, so I don't feel great about taking it. So this is a point that denies some other people. And maybe Coyote is my biggest competition here. So let's see. Grow and take the reed, I think, is the remaining actions. Eating cows lets me take a point on Dunghill. Average Joe takes stone. Oh, I guess Reno the well. That's nice. Oh, and can dove 6 food a cow. Okay. So Joe can feed. It's not great, but he can feed. Coyote takes the growth there. The 4 reed for the basket makers. So, did I not take the veg last round? I think my accounting this game is really shoddy. Like, I announced V and I don't take it. Should be fine. Okay, so I'll grow. I owe 10 food, which will be 2 cows and a pig. I dunghill 2 grain. Yeah, Fofo, I feel like you're accounting my game a lot better than I am. Does Average Joe have something sneaky? I don't think I passed Clay Roof. So is there paddocks or mini pasture somewhere where he steals? Oh no, he's just growing with the last action. Never mind. Oh, and Stone Oven does make more sense than the well, doesn't it? So Malingo got a pig. Coyote's relatively capped out. I guess sheep is a good action. 3 sheep is a point or 6 food or something like that. Malingo is not taking the grain food from the board. I guess we've all been a little sloppy in accounting. Yeah, so many majors unwanted. I did spend 6 stone on renovating and Stone House Extension, which does change it a bit. Stone Sculptor in the game also changes it a bit. Stone Kitchen changes it a bit. And all in all, that means that stone doesn't get used for majors nearly as aggressively. So eat 2A10 for... Whoops. This should be my final farm. Looks like 3 points on Casino Manager, 2 points on Clogs. Yep. Malingo plays Diplomat. Interesting. Well, that's a really nice Plowso. It looks like I'm high 50s, but we'll see here. Yep. Nice to have a base score of 54. So yeah, pretty clean game by me in terms of strategy and some tactics. Sloppy by me in some uses of clear cutting, but overall it works out pretty well. Don't play the first 2 miners. Don't play the last Ock. But you know, a lot of the time cards are just options. And I think that my sequencing of Ox was good. Chris was the man with round 5 growth. Yeah, a lot of things went my way. The strategy was good. Tactics once in a while missed, but overall good enough. Yeah, I mean, I had some really good Ox. Engineering Apprentice and Noble, just very strong. Let's see, so 44 for Coyote, 48 for Average Joe, and probably somewhere mid-high 40s for Malingo. But yeah, good game. You did have some tough spots, Average Joe, like the round 4 where you had to decide who's getting 6 wood or if you're policing 3 wood, or are you just going to field watch so. That was a tricky spot. I think you made pretty reasonable choices throughout. It's just that I managed to build a room and get round 5 growth, and Field Watchman just doesn't really like that. 46. Yeah, that seemed reasonable. The only choice I think I would have made differently in your shoes was 3 reed over Reedstone Food. I had no idea you had a clay roof in hand, so Reedstone Food almost always better than 2 reed when you, or even 3 reed when you have clay roof. So that was the only thing I think I actually questioned at the time. I think otherwise everything made sense. Kind of funny that Wood Collector came out later. Maybe Fencing for Dairy Crier wasn't great when you see that everyone else has relatively early capacity. I might have forced Wood Collector out faster if I'm Field Watchman, but that just might be down to style. Either way, round 5 growth is probably going to give someone else the game. Alright, so thanks for watching, everyone. Hope it was a good time. I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out. I should be back tomorrow for another Agricola game. I'll see if I can do like 7 Wonders Wednesday or something. That I do have a couple people asking for it, so I suppose we will try to make that work. Thanks, everyone.